I've been emceeing all week, and I am so grateful and excited to turn over emceeing duties to a celebrity who I have loved and admired for a long time. It's my sincere pleasure to welcome to the stage longtime friend of Food Tank, Stephanie Hsu. Stephanie is an Academy Award nominated actress and Broadway performer. She's known for her roles in the film Everything Everywhere All at Once, which earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She also played May in seasons 3 and 4 of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, one of my favorite shows and one of my mother's favorite shows too. Karen the Computer in SpongeBob the Musical, and Christina Canigula in Be More Chill. She's also a fierce food and farming advocate, and I'm just so honored that she could be here. She's a really good human. So I'm gonna turn it over to her now. Please give her a round of applause.
What up, y'all? Is this on? It is. It is. Hi, everybody. Okay, backstage, there's only a camera like here, so I was not expecting this whole massive sea of people, but that's so exciting that you are all here for this night. Yes, I am Stephanie Hsu, and I have been in Food Tank's orbit now for about 8 years, and I think they do such inspirational, incredible work with farmers and food justice and food systems and amplifying their message. And this year in particular, combining the power of artists and storytelling to amplify that message. I want to personally thank Danielle Nierenberg and Bernard Pollock. This is such a labor of love and literally could not happen unless they imagined it. And I feel like with any sort of food justice or any sort of justice and dreaming, it doesn't happen unless you dream it to reality. So this is, yes, yeah, clap for that, hell yeah. I said hell. But so I just really commend that, especially in a time where we really need to be dreaming up new solutions. I don't know how they found me really, actually, but I feel really seen that they did because I love farms. Yes, I do. I'm so excited to be here because I am such a nerd for food. I mean, I love food, yes, but I am such a nerd for soil health and regenerative farming practices. So I wanted to share a little bit of how I got pulled into this world, which was in 2009. I was in college and I was a woofer. I was a willing worker on organic farms. Oh, this is so fun. That's right. And I worked on a really small regenerative permaculture farm that was farming on like 1 acre of land and in upstate New York. And this was before we started seeing the word regenerative in grocery stores, which is so cool that now we are even like talking about that on like a mainstream level, the same way that we're talking about like organic. I love how that's like leaking into the sort of languaging around food and what we eat. But I worked on a regenerative farm, and I had this really profound experience where I remembered that the farmers I was working for, they were really, really like ag punk radical people, but like beautiful like artists too. Like the head farmer was this amazing watercolor painter, and so everything she did really like exuded this sort of artfulness as well. And as many of you may know or suspect, they did not have a lot of monetary money. They were farming on loaned land, so they had a work trade agreement basically with the person who owned the land that they could farm for free, and then they would have like food exchange with the owners. And they didn't have a lot of monetary means, but I remember that the way they treated the land, the way they took care of the land, I mean, it was so abundant. It was so lush. And anytime anyone came to visit us, we always had something to give. And I remembered like this man in the neighborhood, he came by and we had just gone to the grocery store and like truly we were paying in quarters for like olive oil or something, and we gave him this huge head of cabbage. And I just remembered thinking like that type of abundance and that type of wealth and reciprocity, like that's it. That is what I want to live by, and that is what I want to practice and understand more of. So thank you to all the farmers who work so hard to not only feed the people in their community, but also to make the soil richer and more abundant for years and futures to come. I'm so excited to get to share with you all these amazing farmers that are here tonight from all over the world. I'm a little shy, actually. I'm nervous to meet them. That's a true story. I'm shy. My friends are here. They're laughing. Okay. So just another shout out again to the work that Danny and Bernie have been doing this week, really combining performing and visual arts at the center of Climate Week programming. Yes, at a moment where culture is needed now more than ever, the protection of culture, the amplifying of culture, the freedom of culture, okay? At every one of their 15 summits this Climate Week, they have featured Broadway performers and pianists. They wrote and performed an original play called Catalyst Coffee about food retail workers union organizing. Yes, cool. And they had a variety night of saxophonists, singer-songwriters, dancers, and drag queens where artists created original pieces about how they embody food transformation in their art forms. If you want to get involved, I'm going off script, but if you want to get involved, go to Bernie. Yeah, if you have a show, don't you think? Sorry, I just volunteered you, but more is more. So tonight, you are going to hear from 10 farmers, and what they're doing is incredibly courageous. What they do every single day is courageous, but then to get up on this stage without note cards, and full face. They're going to tell you stories. And some of them are nervous, and it is scary to share your whole heart with a room full of people. So I want you to really circle this group of people with a lot of love and a lot of support, big heart, big ears. And if there's anything I know about farmers is that they can really make any magic possible, even with just the power of a seed. So let's water them with our love juice. And I want to give a shout out to, I don't usually MC. Anyway, love juice is not something I usually say publicly in a room full of people, but maybe I should. Okay, there we go, love juice. Yes, no pesticides, love juice. No pesticides, love juice. Okay, see you on the streets after this. I want to give a shout out to Molly and Austin and the directors affiliated with Broadway Green Alliance who worked with these farmers to prep for tonight. And I know this concept of elevating the farmers' voices will be brought from here to cities all across the country to uplift their voices. So let's get started.